it wants to open it up in Internet Explorer, but my Facebook like is in Google is in Chrome.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. Maybe it'll work now.
Okay. Okay. At least you know, because if it was for me, I don't know. I don't know almost nothing
Well,
about.
when I tried to do the last one, it totally messed up and I couldn't do
Oh,
it. So in the end, we just recorded it. And actually, I should pause the recording while we're like chit chatting and waiting. Okay. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yay, it's the first time that it's working. So, all right, hey guys, welcome. I'm really excited that we got the Zoom live stream thing connected and that it's actually working. This is my first time doing it like this, so this is very exciting. And I want you to welcome Dr. Michelle Almeida. And while I was trying to figure out the technology, she was just telling me about all of the exciting things that she's doing right now because May is a very important month for her, it being Mental Health Awareness Month, right?
yes,
So,
correct.
so I'll give you back the floor and you can tell me what you were just starting to tell me and you can share it with everybody.
Okay. Well, I'm a clinical psychologist and I am an advocate for suicide prevention and also for domestic violence prevention and sexual violence prevention, and actually almost everything that has to do with mental health and wellness. So yes, I've been very busy giving workshops to different through I collaborate with different organizations. For example, there's one organization that I collaborate with, which what they do is everything that has to do with domestic violence. And when, for example, October, November, those months of the year, they do a lot of educational campaigns. They provide free educational workshops, and a lot of the times, well, I'm the person that gives those workshops through them. Or, for example, April was sexual violence prevention or sexual violence awareness month. And I was working with an organization. And I think it was Friday, April the 25th, we had a summit and I was included as a panelist, and I was talking about the psychological impact of sexual violence. And yeah, and this is for the entire community. So it was a free workshop for the entire community, and it was an amazing event where different organizations came together for this summit. And a lot of different organizations also participated as panelists within their area of expertise.
Wow. And it's something that nobody really wants to talk about, but it's so important. I mean,
Yes.
it really needs to be brought into the light and talked about and shared. And good for you for
Yes.
doing this work. I imagine that it's
And
got to
this
be
is
a big
because,
challenge.
yeah, and it's because there's a lot of stigma surrounding mental health challenges or mental health disorders. People don't like to talk about it, they feel uncomfortable, and people feel that, or sometimes they'll say like they're ashamed of it. People don't want to really talk about their traumas or, their hardships. So there's a lot of silence and shame surrounding these topics.
Yeah, and I would think, I mean, I know for me, like when I'm feeling off or discouraged or depressed or whatever, like I know that like I need to talk to somebody because otherwise I'm just shouting in my own head, but I also feel like I don't want to burden anybody. I don't want to make somebody take on my drama or whatever. And so often I'll just keep it to myself because I feel
Of
like, oh,
course.
I don't want to.
And that's understandable, right? Because that's in a way it's part of our upbringing, especially women.
Yeah.
We don't want to be a burden for our family because women, we are we hold everything together, right? We take care of our kids, families, parents. We become caregivers for our elderly. And if you have a partner or a husband, or you take care of everybody. And then who you feel like, who are you going to tell
Right.
that
Who will take care of me?
who's going to
Yeah.
take care of me? Exactly. But that is why there are professional counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists. This is what they do. And they have taken years and years of, academic um, they have prepared and they have the experience. And this is what professionals in the mental health area do.
Yeah.
So for us, it is not a burden. It is what we do every day to help
Right.
people. And wellness is so important. We need to have healthy communities, especially women.
Yeah. And actually that's a good segue going back to the idea of the superwoman. That's your book.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about your book. I know we're going back a little bit in time. You've shifted focus a little bit more into the wellness and the mental health area, right?
Yes.
But if we can, take a time machine back to when you did do your book. I should have a copy of it here, but
Oh, I have it. I
oh
have it
good,
here.
yeah, go ahead and
Let me
pull it
see.
up
Is
there.
it possible? Like, oh, I think I'm gonna have
Like
to.
if you put it right in front of your face, yeah, there you go. Superwoman in charge. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, now it's blurry. Pull back a little bit. Let's see, and maybe yeah. Well, with the virtual screen in the book, I will put
There
the
it is. There it
I'll
is.
put both your English and Spanish covers side by
There it
side.
is. Superwoman in charge. So it's
Yes.
actually how to protect your sanity and succeed in life. And it's empowering women who are overworked and overstressed and overwhelmed.
And and that's really all of us, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
yeah. So so going back to when you first wrote your book, why did you write it?
So I wanted to talk about how important it is to practice self-care, because it's actually about self-care. Because even though I know the title might throw you off a little bit because it says Superwoman in Charge, but actually what it means is that, women, we have so many hats. We are mothers and sisters and friends, but we also work, and we take so many responsibilities. And we are super women because we do all those things. We give birth. We do so many things in society, right? But at the same time, I am talking about, if you want to protect your sanity and really be a superwoman, you need to practice self-care.
Hmm.
And that is actually, when I was using the term superwoman, I meant, like, like Supergirl or Superman. They wear capes, right? So for me, and some superhero characters, they use a shield, like Captain America, right?
Hmm.
So self-care practices, metaphorically, is the shield that we need to protect ourselves, because we cannot control life circumstances, right? Life is gonna throw bullets at us, right? And
Yeah.
that's for sure. At some time in our lives, we're gonna receive bullets, and maybe how do you call it, missiles? They're gonna come missiles our way that we were not expecting. But if we take care of our mental health, if we make sure that we are well emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, there are so many areas of wellness. So that's our shield. That's
Hmm.
that's how we become a superwoman. We become a superwoman by protecting our sanity, our wellness. So
And
that
it's
is
so
why I wrote this book.
yeah, because it's so common for us as women to, like we were saying, take care of everybody else and be like, oh, I don't have time for me. Like, I'm taking care of the business. I'm taking care of my kids. Maybe you're taking care of your aging parents at our age. We're in the sandwich generation, and it can feel sometimes like putting time aside for self-care is selfish. I mean, who am I? How can I do that?
Exactly. But self-care, making sure that you're well, that's how you are in charge. That's why it says superwoman in charge. It means you have to be in charge of your wellness, and then you can be in charge of everything else,
Right,
right?
because if you're in a corner like in a little heap, like you're not going to do any good for anybody else.
Exactly. If your cup is empty, how are you gonna give? And
Yeah,
and we are nurturers. Women are nurturers, right? But if our cup is empty, how are we going to serve?
right. Yeah, that's such a good point. So going back to when you were writing the book,
Mhm.
um, let's talk a little bit about your writing process and some of those things. So, did you have any fears about writing or publishing?
Yes, yes. I wanted to write for a long time, like for years. I wanted to write, but I thought that I didn't have the skills. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to, like, I know how to write, but writing a book and doing the chapters and making sure that it was logically every chapter, it was the entire thing from the beginning to the end, and also the process of becoming a book
Mm,
and publishing it, and who was going to read it? How was I going to give put this book out there and let people know that this book exists? So yes, I was afraid and I didn't know. I always wanted to do it for years and years, but I thought that I didn't know how to, and I didn't have the tools, or I thought it was not possible for me.
so what gave you the confidence? I mean, what made you able to overcome that and get it done?
Well, it was actually meeting people like you and being surrounded by a community. In 2017, I think it was being surrounded. That's why where I met you, and when I met you in 2017, being surrounded by a community of people that wanted to write a book, and also
Uh-huh.
by people that were there helping these authors or these people to become authors, and to show you step by step and to guide you into creating the book and publishing it, and in a way creating the momentum, because I couldn't understand. I thought that it was going to take years to write a book. That the entire process would take like a year. No,
Yeah.
and then I realized, when I realized that it was going to go fast, that it was going to be something fast, I was like, how can that be? But being guided by the correct people and surrounded by a community that will also support you, it creates a momentum.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I was surprised. The book was completed like in 3 months.
So that's all that it only took you 3 months?
It took me 3 months.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yes.
So let's talk about the writing process a little bit. I mean, how did you go from the idea in your head to, the 3 months later, the manuscript being done?
Well, I knew that I wanted to talk about self-care practices. So the first thing that I did was I started to record. I remember,
Mm,
yeah, in that workshop that I was there and you were there, they were saying to start recording, because I was like, how am I gonna organize my ideas? And then what I did, I took the advice of recording. So actually, as soon as I left that workshop, I started recording in the airport, in the airplane. Like, I started recording my ideas of what I wanted. And I put those ideas into a draft. And from there is I started with a draft. I knew what I wanted to talk about. So I started to understand, or to look for, how was I going to divide it into topics, into subtopics. And I committed. I just committed to that. And
I love it. Like you just jumped into action. Like you didn't, it
I
wasn't like
jumped into
tomorrow. It was like, I'm
action.
doing it.
Yes, yes. And also, you know what helped? Having a deadline.
Uh-huh.
We had a deadline.
Right.
So
Back then we were doing pre-releases, right? So we had that
yes,
hard deadline that you had to have it done by that date.
exactly. And I knew I had to do it. I had to do it because I had committed to that. I wanted it because it was something that I had wanted for so long. And I said I had to, it was, for me, it was ride or die. It was like now or never.
Yeah.
I changed my mindset about it. And once I understood that it was possible to, that I met people that's in this community that said, I did it in 3 months. I was like, really? Then I can do, if they can do it, I can do it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
So that's, I just went for it. I said, this is it. This is my time. I have to make it happen.
Oh, that's amazing. And boy, did you. So I mean, speaking of which, let's talk about it. Like, I mean, I know that you maybe what is a year later or something that you had it translated into Spanish.
3 years later.
3 years later, gosh, time
Yes.
just collapses, doesn't it?
Yes.
And so I mean, what has been the results of both books, the English version and the Spanish version? Like
Yes.
the
Well,
yeah,
it
I
has
mean,
been
both
amazing.
personally and in business.
Yes, it has been amazing. And let me tell you, actually, it was not only a translation because I had 3 years. Once I did the first book, I realized that I wanted to say more things or that I wanted to add something. I was like, oh, how come I didn't think about that because the book was already printed. So I was like, no, I'm late. I cannot add that.
Well,
So
you could have come out with a second edition.
well, but then 3 years later, I was gonna give a workshop for one organization that they were working with a project. They were developing a project of making shelters for domestic violence survivors, and they were looking for ways of generating income. And I wanted to create the book in Spanish. So an idea occurred, and I said, you know what? I can make up the book in Spanish, add all the things that I wanted to add, the things that I thought that I might never add because I left them out, and then use the book as a mean to support the organization that wanted to open a shelter for domestic violence survivors and their kids. And that's what I did. I said, you know what? And since it was something so important to me, I committed to it. And that's when I contact you and we started this journey of, okay, let's do it in Spanish. And it took, I'm not sure, like a couple of months also, maybe like 2 months for me, because I used the majority of what I already had, right? But since I wanted to add and also not only that, but revise, that's how you say revise
Uh-huh. Yeah,
what
yeah.
I had done and add um more updated information. So that's what I did. And you were there guiding me into the process. Okay, let's do this now. Let's do like I contacted you. You said yes, let's do it. And then we had a date. The date was set
Yeah.
exactly for the date that was set for the workshop for this
Oh,
organization.
right.
So when I went to the organization and I gave the workshop, we said that this book was coming out in Spanish. And that's how people started, knowing about the book and we started the process and I don't know, magic happened. I don't know how to tell you. It just
Yeah, so once
magic
again, that
happened.
hard deadline really galvanized you to make it work.
Yes. And then people started calling people or emailing people from all over the world, like from other countries, and people were asking how to be able to access this book. And then we did it came the date came, right? The pre-launch. 24 hours later, you said, Michelle, it's international. I was like,
Yeah.
ah, I
Yeah.
remember
Now we
it was
do
an
everything in
international best-selling book.
yeah, that's right. That's right. And yeah, we don't really do the pre-launches anymore because Amazon kind of changed the way they handle it, which is really a shame because I think it was so motivating to authors to have that.
Yes, it's so much fun, so much stress,
Yeah.
so much stress, but so much fun.
Well, the launch is the same. It's still stressful. But then what happened after? I mean, did it give you extra opportunities or how did it come into play in your life and in your business?
So then once I had the book in both languages, then everywhere I go, everywhere I give a workshop, I I speak about the books. Not only that, when people want to interview me, that's one of the things that they want to talk about the book. And yes, the book definitely opens doors, and people start understanding that you know what you're talking about, and they see you as an authority on
Mm,
that field. Yeah.
yeah. As the authority even.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, do you think it's important for other people to tell their stories or to write their book? And if so, why?
Yes. Yes, it is important. Like, I believe that everyone has a message that can share. And if you have a life experience that you've been able to rise above or to understand how to deal with that particular circumstance, right? Then yes, you can help others by sharing your story. Other people can benefit from your life experiences. Wouldn't it
Hmm.
be wonderful if we can all learn through everybody's experiences instead of going through the same hardships, like everybody experiencing their hardship to learn the lessons? I think it's amazing nowadays, like, because of how media is, right? Every like information, it's very accessible.
Mm.
And I believe that books are forever. Like, we can read a book from an author that is no longer with us, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's a
learn
permanent
from that
legacy.
person. It's a permanent legacy. Yes. So for me, what I shared in my book, and actually I share some part of my story, how I became a suicide prevention advocate. And I believe that that book will live forever. Anybody that can read the book will benefit from the information that I'm giving, from my knowledge, my experience, and my reflections, even if I'm not here in this world anymore.
Yeah, yeah, such a good point. Um, do you have another book in you? I mean, are you already planning your next one?
I'm sure I have material for a couple of books. So I I might be
But you're
thinking,
right. You're gonna ride this one for a bit.
yes, I'm gonna
Yeah.
write on this one for a little bit. Yes, but yes, yes. I know that I might be writing more books in the future. Hmm.
I have a feeling you probably will. And I know for me, I found that it kind of got a little bit addictive. Like, oh, I didn't
Yes.
do a book this year. I better get started. Which is why I'm working on the third edition, the third volume, the third edition of Book It, which is why we're talking, so that I can include you
Wow.
in that.
Great, great.
Yeah. So, what advice do you have for other experts that are considering whether or not to write a book or who want to publish a book?
Yes. So writing a book will give you a platform. It will make people understand that you're an expert on what you're saying, and will open doors. It will open doors that you didn't even imagine it will open for you. Definitely. And it is so satisfying once it's done, when the book is finished. You feel so accomplished, and you become an author.
That's right. Yes, you're no longer just a doctor. You are an author and a
Exactly.
best-selling author, no less.
Exactly. You're an author. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. No, I,
So
I agree.
if someone has a story to share or life lessons or some information that can benefit other people, definitely a book is a good tool. It's a good tool to and will open doors everywhere you go.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's been something that I think almost all of the authors have said is you don't know where it's going to take you, but it's going to be beyond what you imagine.
Yes, yes,
And I think that's something that many authors have been surprised by that, because you
yes.
think it's going to take you one direction and like 1,000 other doors might open that you never even thought of.
Yes, correct. And people, I since ever since I wrote the book and the one in English and also the one in Spanish, people have contacted me through Facebook because they wanted to contact me as an author and say people that have bought the book and just tell me how much they love the book, how much it has
Oh,
helped them. And I have friends in my Facebook that if it wasn't for the book, I probably didn't would never have gotten the chance to know because now I have people that they're in my Facebook page, they're my friends, my Facebook friends, just because they read my book.
yeah,
And when they write to you and they tell you how the book impacted their lives, that's such a that's such an amazing experience
yeah,
to
that's got to
know.
be so gratifying to know that
It's
you really
so
made a difference.
it is. There's a part of my book that I start the book where I am telling the person, the reader, that if they are going through something very difficult in their lives, they need to reach out for help.
Mm,
And if they feel that they cannot handle it, if they feel they're alone, like I started there. I start there telling them, don't just read this book, please. Don't make this book your life link.
mm,
Go if it's if you're going through something and you know that it's affecting you in your daily life or in your relationships, there's something going on, you're sad in your heart, there's something that you're not well, then reach out for help. And that I've received messages from people saying, you know what, I needed someone to tell me to reach out and that it was okay, that I tell them you're still a superwoman.
wow.
Superheroes, they need help too.
So you may not have only made an impact, but you may have saved some lives, literally.
Well, if I did, I am glad I did. But, when you receive those messages from people saying how much it has helped them,
Yeah.
and you say, "Oh, wow, you know what? It was worth it. All the stress of creating the book. If you can change one life, it's worth it."
Yeah. Oh, wow. Amen. Amen. So before I close out the interview, just a couple more questions. We're almost at the end here, but is there anything you'd like to share that I didn't ask about? Any other words of wisdom that you would like to share with us? Oh no, did we freeze? Hi, welcome back. We're not live, but
What happened? I don't know what happened. We lost it. The internet was lost like for a couple of minutes.
yeah, technology, right?
God. I was moving all over I was like moving all over the house. I was like, what happened? I was checking the internet.
Oh no.
I don't know why. Really, I don't know what happened. I don't want to move from here because I don't understand why, because we're supposed to have internet all over the house.
Weird.
Yes.
Weird. Technology, you can't live with it or without it, right?
My goodness, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. Well, like I said, I mean, luckily I only had two questions left. So
Okay.
the question we were on when you froze is I was asking, what would you like to share with us that I did not think to ask about? What other words of advice and wisdom have you got?
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about the book, actually about writing the book, because yeah, that would be
Okay. So
good.
what
Oh, are we sorry.
it's okay. It's just you and me now. I don't know that the live stream even works. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. So the video might have a weird ending, but I'll put in the comments the last two bits.
Okay, okay.
And then of course in the transcript that I'll have, that'll go into
Oh,
the
are
book.
you gonna record it, or am I just going to say and you're gonna transcribe it?
I mean, it's recording and then I'll get that into the transcript.
Oh,
But
okay.
when I upload the video, I'll probably just upload the long video that we just did and not this little piece. But this
Mhm.
piece will be, the close of the interview in the book.
All right.
And then
Okay.
I'll post it in a comment so that
All
people
right.
who
All
watch the
right.
full interview, they get the end of it.
All right. All right. Let's do it.
So that's it. Just if there's any advice that you have that I didn't, or anything that you want to share that I didn't cover already.
Well, I just want to say that if you're thinking about writing a book, or if you have thought about it for years, and you think that it's not possible, yes, it is possible. And I definitely will say to write your book with Sandi Masori,
Oh,
because
thank you.
definitely if you write it with Sandi, it's gonna get done. So yes, so if you have in your heart something to share, something that you wish you could write about, then yes, write that book. Write it. Somebody might need it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Don't just let it sit in your head, get it out of your head.
Exactly.
Get into
Exactly.
that physical form. And then, I mean, last question. If people want to learn more about you, where can they find out about you or how can they reach you?
Well, they can reach me. I have a Facebook page. You can find me by Dr. Michelle Almeida. And now there's going to be new. It's actually, I don't think it's up yet, but there is a page that everybody can join. It's called Global Movement Alliance, and people can look for that page and join, because I'm going to be bringing people from all over the world talking about different topics about health and wellness.
And
And
this is this is a Facebook page?
it is a Facebook page, yes.
Are you
And
gonna are you gonna also set up a group as well?
yes, there is
Nice.
also a private group that is called also Global Movement Alliance. Yes. And I'll be bringing people from different countries that are actually representing causes or movements. And I'm going to be bringing them to the platform so that they can share their causes, their movements, their projects, their events, and that way people can know about it and join whichever cause or movement they feel that they would like to join.
Nice. So a place for people to support each other.
Yes, to
Nice, nice.
connect, collaborate, and support each other.
I love that. And do you also have a website that people can go to learn more? Or are you really just doing it on Facebook nowadays?
I have a website. It's drmichellealmeida.com.
Great. Awesome. Awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you so, so, so much for making the time to speak with me and to help me and agreeing to be a part of my book. And yeah, I really can't wait till the next time that we get to physically see each other in real life in person.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy, for having me here. It's been my
No,
pleasure.
thank you. I know that it's late on a Sunday night, and I really appreciate you taking this time. So,
Yes, thank you.
well, you have a great evening. I won't keep you any longer. And yeah, definitely when we're in the same city, like we got to get together.
We have to, yes.